Hey you guys, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. This is Shafaq, speech and language therapist, live from London. I had promised that we would do a live stream on Friday evening, and here I am. Just waiting for some of you guys to join me. Inshallah. I hope you guys are. Ooh. Okay, my camera took a dip over there. Okay, wait. Can you guys see me? I hope you can. Hey, Assalamu alaikum. That's great. Some of you have started joining me. Yay. It's Friday evening, and as promised, I've just come to, hey, Assalamu alaikum. How have you been? Mr. Nidu Aloof, all the way from Italy. You've just joined. Thank you so much. मैं यहाँ बैठी हुई हूँ. I've just started this live stream. Still making adjustments to it. Let me see. Can you see clearly? ठीक है, कैमरा हिल तो नहीं रहा है. You can see. If the camera moves, I will. Faisal, assalamu alaikum. Okay, my camera is not sitting properly. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my stand. Okay. Let's stop moving. Please stop moving. Please stop moving. I'm just making adjustments, so you can join me. If you haven't started watching the live stream, you will find out that I'm online, and you might start watching. Okay, we're good. कैसे हैं आप लोग? No, it's not good. Oh God, it's pretty weird. I don't know why it's not staying still. मेरा ना camera stand है, so I have to make adjustments to it to make sure it stands still. And please हिलना मत. There. Okay, if the camera starts moving, I'll close it, readjust it, and we'll start again. I hope I don't lose you guys. So let's start again. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shafaq Hassan, speech and language therapist, live from London. I had promised Friday evening we will have a nice live stream just to catch up and to share some information and to find out how you guys are doing. How are you? Alhamdulillah, main theek thaak hoon. It's been tiring. It's winter. Yeah, it's cold. Few hours के लिए लगता है धूप निकलता है, and then it's like when the dark again. मगर अल्लाह का शुक्र, we shouldn't complain, should be grateful for everything that we have. What about you guys? Where are you guys? कहाँ से आप लोग join कर रहे हैं? Please let me know. It'd be interesting to hear कि आवाज़ कहाँ तक पहुँच रही है, किसको पहुँच रही है. I'm not a TV show, but it's nice to find out who's listening, who's learning. जी क्या कह रहे हैं आप? You are a little busy in your new projects. How are all of you people? How is everyone? Mr. Nidu Alu is asking, how is everyone doing? And yeah, I think everyone's been a bit caught up with their projects and with their work. And London में भी lockdown खत्म होने वाला है, तो kids are still going to school. जो essential workers हैं, they're still going to work. So it's been funny. It's been interesting and funny. Magar where you are, I hope कि COVID rates are not hitting this. They're not, क्या कहते हैं, rates are not going really high basically, so it's difficult. It's a bit difficult. Faisal, you're from Hyderabad. Excellent, that's good to hear. Faisal भाई, मेरा camera ठीक से बैठ नहीं रहा, क्या करूँ? There, I'm just gonna hold it so it doesn't collapse. ठीक है. You're from Hyderabad, you're watching from Pakistan. That's nice. वहाँ पे it's quite late, नहीं? 4 hours ahead of us, I believe. But yeah, London में it's just evening right now. लग रहा है कि it's midnight because it's so dark outside. मगर we're good. Everything is good over here. Schools are continuing. I think यहाँ पे 18 December से Christmas holidays शुरू हो जाएंगे. मगर let's see what happens in the meanwhile. Pakistan, how is Pakistan doing? How is Italy doing? I hope there's no lockdown in place there. Turkey mein, I've heard there's like partial lockdown over there as well. Faisal is saying it's 12:23 a.m. So it is midnight over there. Hai na? Oops. It's midnight in Pakistan. But thank you for joining. Very brave of you. Because I think आपके हिसाब से अभी join करना is not too bad, right? Because काम दिन भर का ख़त्म हो गया, and you can you can join in the live stream and just learn and share experiences and how things are going and what's happening. तो अल्लाह का शुक्र है. That's good. I was gonna talk about two things today. Actually, the two things I was talking about was a continuation from my last live stream, which is on selective mutism. ठीक है? वो, and the other thing I was going to talk about was COVID and how COVID affects speech and language. And sadly, I've heard news that people I know have, have been affected by COVID. They have got the virus, and it's not very nice. People are not well, and we can only make dua that they recover fully, and Allah shifa de un sabko, who've been affected by this difficult, challenging time. Anyways, I'm gonna stay positive. Okay, live stream the aim is, the goal is to share information, to reach out to you guys, to answer your questions if you have any, and generally to spread positive information, positive news. Okay, तो यार ये गिरा जा रहा है मेरा stand. It's not standing properly. It's weird. Anyways, yeah. So I'm talking about COVID. Or shall we start with selective mutism? I think let's start with selective mutism because that's like a continuation from the last live stream. है ना? तो selective mutism क्या है? As I've talked to you before, it's basically a child's inability to speak because they've had severe anxiety. ठीक है? It's an anxiety disorder where it's a child feels extremely anxious because changes to his or her situation and environment, and as a consequence they have their body basically goes into shock when they're in an environment they're not comfortable in, or which creates anxiety for them. And in that sense, फिर ये होता है कि the child basically doesn't speak because they're not able to overcome the shock or the anxiety of being in that environment. So ये हो सकता है any new school environment, any so it can be any new school environment, any if you've changed houses, or you change the country you live in, for example. So anything which is a drastic change for a child, the child can't cope with it. Right? उसका anxiety इतना होता है, stress इतना होता है कि they're unable to communicate or speak as effectively. So they may have communication which is via paper pen. ठीक है? It might be that they're able to write but they can't speak. So speech जो होता है वो affect हो जाता है for a child, and that's quite huge because छोटे बच्चे में अगर आप सोचिए ना, between the ages of 0 and 5, their brain is developing, right? They're acquiring information from their environment, they're learning, they're hearing speech sounds, they're developing their speech, they're developing their comprehension. So if a child at such an early age experiences anxiety so much that they can't speak, it can be quite detrimental. Yeah, or because of any shock, Mr. Faisal, you're right. Because of any shock, they could come in, have shock. Some people का होता है कि उन्हें stammering शुरू हो जाता है, right? They start stammering at a very young age because it's possible that they're undergoing a shock or they're undergoing a sudden change which triggers a stammer reflex in them, and stammering शुरू हो जाता है. That's a disorder as well. But ये जो selective mutism is, you have to catch it early and you have to correct it because it affects the child's development and pragmatic skills and how they go on to develop human relations and how they study in class and how they develop as people. So it can affect their academic careers and it can affect their social life as well. For example, interacting and making with family and friends and making friends and so it can be quite challenging, and parents परेशान हो जाते हैं. That's another thing. तो parents के लिए बहुत anxiety होता है, and that anxiety is also transferred to the child. So you have to be a bit careful in that sense, na? So so selective mutism is it's not a very frequently heard term. So for me, it was quite important that I put it out there so you guys are aware of it. And for people who are involved in education and for people who are involved in healthcare, it's really important that you're familiar with this term. Okay? Other than that, let's move forward. Other than that, we're talking about COVID. Okay? Faisal had asked me, can we discuss COVID and speech, and how does COVID affect speech? Speech and language कैसा affect हो सकता है? Basically, the effects of COVID are quite nasty. If you fall ill and if you catch the virus, it's quite nasty. It's not like the common cold. Common cold क्या होता है? You fall ill, 3-4 दिन का flu होता है, ठीक है? Unless astaghfirullah, unless it is fatal for some people and they lose their life, right? But it's a huge spectrum technically, right? And what we're talking about for COVID is the effects of COVID kya hota hai? What we're saying is that it affects people's lung capacity. Their breathing becomes difficult. Khasi hota hai, breathing becomes difficult. They have a fever, right? And short term mein, theek hai, short term mein lots of people quarantine, they self-isolate and they recover, all right? मगर longer term का जो COVID होता है, long COVID जो होता है, how does it affect a person? It affects a person because their breathing is affected, because the lung capacity is reduced, because lungs पे जाके target करता है COVID, the virus, right? And in that sense ये होता है कि a person also does not, full lung capacity जब नहीं होता है, right? Breathing difficulties होता है, ठीक है? Breathing difficulties होता है, you get tired, fatigue hota hai, theek hai? And the khasi is obviously really bad for your vocal folds and for your lungs and for your larynx, all right? If a person has fatigue and if a person doesn't have full lung capacity, what happens is that their speech is affected because they can't speak properly, because they can't sustain their speech. So you run out of breath, basically run out of air to sustain your speech, which is very challenging, right? It reduces your ability to speak. अक्सर ये भी होता है कि a person's anxiety because of all that is affect anxiety, and the fact that they have a really bad cough will affect their voice, so the vocal folds get affected. And in the long run, what happens is that it also affects a person's cognitive skills. So cognitive skills kya hota hai? Cognitive skills are skills in the mind which include your memory. Short and long-term memory can be affected, ठीक है? Anxiety and the stress and organizing and memory recall, these all, like any cognitive skill which can be affected by COVID can affect your life. तो आपका life effect हो सकता है उससे, right? And how you perform and how you your executive functioning, you're planning your day, planning for your future. तो बहुत से लोगों का I've heard of a person who was a sportswoman, and because of COVID, her career pathway got affected because she has such a difficulty sustaining speech and sustaining sustained breathing, basically, like not getting, and fatigue because of COVID, right? The fatigue meant that she could not sustain her physical activities, and that has affected her career, because if you're a sportswoman or a sportsman, it will affect your career quite significantly. So COVID-19 जो है उसका long term effects जो होता है ना, it's quite significant, and it can affect you and your quality of life, and it can affect what you do as a living. It can affect abhi research, we don't even know everything about COVID-19, right? Scientists are researching, scientists abhi vaccine nikalne ka koshish kar rahe hain. We hopefully very soon will have a vaccine, lots of people will take it. Mr. Faisal, what are you saying? In a research, many Pakistani people think that there is no COVID-19. That is why people don't follow. Yeah, that's true, precaution, and this is very sad for us. You're very right, sir. You're very right. Ye hota hai ki I know lots of people, sadly, who sadly don't believe in COVID-19. They don't think it's a pandemic. It's not just Pakistanis. It's people who are Dusri community ke bhi, they don't believe that COVID-19 is any such thing, and they don't think there's a pandemic, and they don't think people are actually being affected by it, and they think it's because of underlying health conditions, which is really, really sad, because we have evidence that people have passed away because of COVID-19, and it's really sad if you undermine that and if you don't accept that. I have friends who've lost their parents, or a sibling or a friend, and who've suffered from COVID-19. So it's very unfortunate that aise log bhi hain duniya mein who don't believe in it, or who don't agree with it, and who don't take precautions. All we're asking people to do right now, right, is to wear a mask, to wash their hands frequently, to keep a distance from other people. Or itna jo socializing hai na, which we normally do. I mean, you know, we're just not encouraging that to happen. अभी lockdown के वजह से बहुत socializing interaction कम हुआ है, मगर restauranting. So if you go to the restaurant and if you eat out, right, you're bound to be either passing along, if खुदा ना खास्ता, if you're affected, if you're carrying COVID-19, you could pass it. It could spread from you to another person, or it could spread from another person to you. And it's just like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it that हम एक जो है एक virus spread हो रहा है, उससे हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं रोकने from it spreading, right? So is it really worth it कि आप बाहर जाएं and shopping कर रहे हैं, restauranting कर रहे हैं, coffee houses जा रहे हैं, you know? And the whole idea is that we want to look out for each other. We don't want to spread it, so that some people can deal with it, they can fight it, and some people can't. And हमें responsibility here towards our community for the people who can't deal with it, you know, whose immune system is not strong enough to fight it. You don't know किसको कितना affect करता है. I mean, it could be a very young person, you know, a very young person, early 20s, mid 20s, early 30s, a very young person has been affected by COVID, and some people can deal with it and some people can't. हो सकता है a very young person can't deal with it. It's they're saying it's not age. It's like obviously age makes a person be more stronger immune system wise, health wise, right? Magar even that is not a certain factor that a person will be able to cope with it and fight COVID-19, or they'll be affected by it. Okay, because lots of people have lost their lives, and it's not just you know, the elderly or the vulnerable, or the people who are you know, over 60s who are catching it and are affected by it. It's the under 60s as well, the under 30s as well, who have been affected. The, you know, people who are in their 40s are affected. So just it's sensible to be careful. It's sensible to be careful and to be concerned and caring about other people as well. Hannah, yeah. So it's just a bit of a challenging times though hai for everybody. It is a fairly challenging situation for a lot of people, and abhi tak news aata hai you know, that someone has been you know, that someone has COVID, and dua kare unke liye. So that's what I guess what we can all do is just make duas and pray for people ki you know, agar COVID ho bhi jata hai, they can fight it, they can recover from it, and Allah na kare, you know, I hope your loved ones and our loved ones don't get it, because it's quite scary when it does happen. But anyways, weekend ho gaya, it's Friday evening. I hope you guys all have a really good safe weekend planned. ठीक है, just be safe, please. Look out for each other, be safe. And next week, inshallah, I will try and reconnect with you guys. It's always nice to connect with all of you and to find out what you're doing, where you are. And Mr. Faisal, you're saying there's a recent case in my city of a young guy who was 30 years old and who died because of COVID-19. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. That's really sad. That is really sad. Yeah, so someone as young as, you know, who's as young as 30 has been affected by it, and they've sadly lost their life. Really sad, worth reflecting on. I have heard of younger people who have been affected by it, and it's really difficult for their families, for them. It's sheer sad loss of lives. Yeah. So like I was saying, you know, like you're saying as well, please do take precautions. Please do be careful, and please prioritize. You know what is okay. You know, prioritize things. एक दूसरे से मिलना कितना ज़रूरी है, बाहर डिनर खाने कितना ज़रूरी है, शॉपिंग जाने कितना ज़रूरी है. You know, especially when you're faced with such a situation where you don't want COVID to be spreading. बहुत spread हो चुका है anyways. It's everywhere, everywhere, and we're desperately trying to keep it under control, right? So just do your bit really, and see how it goes. Okay, that's a lot of me doing a lot of talking. We have discussed COVID, and if you guys have any more questions or queries, drop me a line. It's always nice to hear from you. I think I've done my live stream a little earlier, but that's okay. At least at least we got to discuss COVID and the other topic which I'm talking about so seriously these days about COVID and selective mutism. There are other health conditions which do affect speech and language, and inshallah I will I hope to continue doing live streams discussing them with you guys. But if you have any queries and if there's this particular topic that you guys want to talk about, Naveed Rahman saying Assalamu alaikum. Welcome Assalam Naveed, how are you? We were just talking about two topics today: selective mutism, which we continued from my last live stream, and we were just discussing COVID-19. If you have any comments, please feel free to share. I'd love to hear from you. Sorry for late joining. Koi baat nahi, that's fine. I'm glad you joined. It's just if we have anything to talk about, I'm willing to stay here for a bit longer. If you have any queries, comments, questions, then please feel free to let me know. I was talking about how we need to take precautions and we have to be careful because COVID-19 जो बहुत लोगों को affect किया है. I'm hearing more and more cases every day on a daily basis of people being affected. And Faisal just he shared his accounts of cases in his city, and it's quite sad because age does not seem to be a factor which prevents COVID from happening. So it doesn't matter if you're over 60, under 60, 30, 40, 50. अगर होता है आपको तो you just have to be really careful that we prevent it from spreading. Naveed Rahman, you're saying Alhamdulillah, I'm good. What about you? I'm doing very well, thank you. आपके सामने हूँ. आपके सामने हूँ. बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक हूँ. It's been a busy week. But it's Friday evening, Alhamdulillah. And मैंने प्रॉमिस किया था कि फ्राइडे को आप लोग से लाइव स्ट्रीम करूँगी and we'll connect and discuss anything you guys want to discuss. So I'm here for a little while just to catch up with you guys, find out how you're doing. How are you doing, Naveed Rahman? How are you doing? Where are you watching from? And so I like to do my live stream so that I can discuss health issues with you guys which can affect speech and communication. And if you have any queries or if you have any concerns, then do let me know and we can discuss them. And if you have any topics that you want to talk about, do let me know. And if I don't know about it, I will research it or read into it and find out. Thank you, Naveed. Abhi. खुश रहिए आप लोग सब. Look after yourselves, look after your elders, look after your children. Be positive role models for the community. ठीक है? Be positive role models. Share what you know. Share the information that you have. Eat healthy. Eat healthy. अभी कोविड के सिचुएशन में आप लोग का खाना पीना कैसे चेंज हुआ है? I believe that vitamin D is recommended, that people have a lot of vitamin D, increased amount of vitamin D, because that apparently is beneficial in combating COVID. I don't understand what you've written in Urdu, Mr. Naveed Rahman. आपने क्या लिखा है? I can't read. I can't read the Urdu. So if you want to just say it in English, then that'd be great. I can read it out, but the Urdu version I can't read, sorry. छोटे छोटे जो अल्फाज होते हैं ना, short words, I can read them. I can't read a whole sentence in Urdu, है ना? My proficiency in Urdu is that I can speak it fluently, but reading थोड़ा सा I can read short sentences or big font जो होता है, मगर long sentences a bit tricky. चलें कोई बात नहीं. अब I should get going. और कोई बातें अगर हुई तो please let me know. We can talk about it. And remember to eat healthy. ठीक है? Lots of fresh fruit if you can. And how often? How many meals a day are you guys having? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, intermittent snacks? How is that going? I know. Recently, someone has joined me on Facebook who's a fitness expert. So if you have any questions regarding your weight or fitness, then I'm sure post it here and we can get him to answer them. ठीक है? We'll try. Naveed Rahman, क्या कह रहे हैं आप? Mandi? You're telling me where you're from, I believe. Mandi something. Bahauddin, Pakistan. I don't know where that is. Where is that? I've never heard of that place before. Is it north, east, south, west? Where in Pakistan? I'm sure other viewers know where it is. मुझे नहीं पता कि कहाँ है. मैं लंदन में होती हूँ तो मुझे लंदन का आइडिया है. पाकिस्तान के ये सब इलाकों का आइडिया है नहीं मुझे. But thank you. It's nice to know that you're watching from wherever you are. Yeah. Mandi Bahauddin in Pakistan. ठीक है. I don't know where that is, but thank you for joining from there. ठीक है. Anything else, you guys? मैं चलती हूँ फिर. इंशाल्लाह फिर बात होगी आप लोग से. Look after yourselves and we'll speak soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.